Hello, everyone. It's January 31st. I figured I would do an update on our sites or on our candidates for all the different races coming up. So I'll get started on that. Let me share the screen here so we can do that. Okay, let me start off with just going down and seeing the ones in blue are the ones I've updated recently. Let me just start off. I'll go down and include a little bit on the ones in green too. That nothing really is going on in the Senate race. Ossoff, we know, is going to be our candidate. Nobody's going to challenge him, or at least challenge him seriously. So we're kind of just sort of floating along in that one for a while. Any statewide race is going to be reasonably close, but right now things seem to be lining up pretty well for Ossoff. We'll find out more. The Republicans still have to go through a bloody primary, so we'll see who claws their way out of that. For governor, on both sides, there's a pretty crowded field. Probably runoffs on both sides. I did get my first gubernatorial interview in, Jeff Duncan. I interviewed him earlier this week. Shorter than normal interview. He was pressed for time, got about 15 minutes. Typically they're like 20 to 30, but got it in. And I'll have Jason Estevez coming up here in a few days, and I'll have that one on there too. The governor's race on the Democratic side, I think there's as many as 11 candidates who have filled out a form for it. Now, of those 11, there are four that are considered to be the front runners, and that is Duncan, Estevez, Keisha Lance Bottoms, and Mike Thurmond. Those are considered to be the four candidates that are out front. Now, that's not based on a super amount of polling. That's just based on what little polling there is, plus name recognition, plus other factors, fundraising, that sort of thing. We'll find out more about fundraising coming up in the next week or so because Monday is a filing deadline and people have to report what they've taken in so far. In the statewide races, the governor candidates are the ones that's going to be taking up most of the money, or well, Senator Ossoff's taking up a huge amount of money. But the statewide races, the governor's race always dominates the money. All the lower races just get what they can where they can. So we have Duncan and Estevez and Bottoms and Thurmond as the expected leaders. Right now, the impression is that Bottoms is probably first, the former mayor of Atlanta. And then the other three, Duncan, Estevez, and Thurmond, are vying for second. Most people don't think that any one candidate has enough to avoid a runoff. So there's probably going to be a runoff. The feeling is between Keisha Lance Bottoms and somebody else. That could change. That's just based on sort of sifting through the few numbers we have, looking at money and that sort of thing. So that's where the governor's race stands. We do have the Jeff Duncan video up if you want to watch that. So that's a change from a couple from last week. Lieutenant Governor, there's a third candidate that I've reached out to. His name's Seth Clark. I've interviewed the other two candidates, McLaurin and Wright. The interviews are both online. And Seth Clark, I've established contact with, so his interview will be coming up in the next few weeks. Secretary of State, there's three candidates there. I've interviewed Adrian Consinari. I'm still looking to get the other two interviewed. Let me see about. Just want to verify that. Yeah, the other one being Dana Barrett. Actually, I'm sorry, there's four. Cam Ashling is the fourth candidate. So there's three more candidates that I have to reach out to in that one. Some of those are just recent additions. And then there's an addition to the Attorney General. I just added a video yesterday of Tanya Miller, who's one of the two candidates, Bob Trammell being the other. So her interview is now online on our YouTube channel. You can go look at that. Bob Trammell's is scheduled. His will be online probably not this upcoming week, but the week after that. Right now, those are the only two candidates for AG. So we're doing pretty well on that as far as keeping the numbers manageable. Let's see. Agriculture Commissioner, we still don't have a candidate statewide for that yet. Insurance Commissioner is one candidate. I haven't reached out to her. Really, that's my fault. I'm just getting other candidates, trying to wrap them up. So not much there to report. State School Superintendent. Now, we have three candidates that have announced on that, and all three candidates have been interviewed, and their interviews are online. That's Anton Anthony, Lydia Powell, and Otha Thornton. So you can view those interviews online. I did through all three of those in the past 2 weeks. So they're all there. So right now, those are the only three candidates we have. So we're caught up on that particular race. And you can take a look at those three candidates. Labor commissioner, it's one of these wide open races where there's just it seems like more and more candidates at every turn. I think we're up to 9 now. So the governor has 11, including some minor candidates. Commissioner of Labor has 9. And I had a fourth interview, that of Daniel Rosebud. I did that one and added it just this week to the other three that I've already done with Blaylock, Moon, and Porche. There's still Anthony Robbins I've been trying to reach out to, no luck. Michi Sanchez is a new candidate. I've just recently tried getting in touch with her. Same with Christian Y. Smith. And there is, let's see, that's for us. Jay Gibbs and Brett Hulme, which I've also just briefly reached out to so far. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I will get most of them scheduled. I don't know about the interview, but we'll get them in there. So that is all of our statewide races. Uh, I do have, let's see, both candidates for District 5 PSC are in there. I've got Peter Hubbard coming up in the next few weeks. He is of course the incumbent for District 3. We just elected him last year. He'll be running again this year for a full 6-year term this time. Now, under the House of Representatives, I did do an interview with Sean Harris. I know Sean's been around a lot. Most of you have seen him in person. The interview was a good one, I thought. It's up on our website if you want to view it. We talk about a number of things in it. Among the things we talk about are the situation with having 22 candidates and having 3 people with the label Democrat by their name, with Sean being the only true Democrat. And when I say that, I'm saying that really that the other 2 people, Jim Davis is one of them who admits he's an independent running as a Democrat essentially for convenience. And then the other, John Hobbs, who was a Republican posing as a Democrat. Republicans do this sometimes. Uh, you know, they're plants, I guess you could say. And I'm not sure why he's doing it. Well, I am pretty sure why he's doing it. It's just to try and shave a little bitty amount off of Sean's numbers. So just to make it a little bit harder for Sean to win outright, for example. Uh, don't fall for this. They're entirely within their rights to run, and there are no real rules on what party label you can slap on yourself. But it's a little bit disingenuous, it's a little bit dishonest, especially in the Hobbs case. He's just lying. I think Jim Davis is more or less his own guy, and he's being somewhat honest, I think, about his effort. He's at least admitted he's not a Democrat, so there's that. So Sean is really the only Democrat, and we talk a little bit about that too. In fact, in the next day or two, I'll be posting on our social media and website the letter that we're sending to the state executive committee, we being all of our committees in the CD14, endorsing Sean Harris, and the executive committee and then the state committee will vote on that to make it official throughout the whole party. So there is that going on. Another local item, I guess you could say, is that the special election date for the state senate is also set for March 10th, the same day as the congressional race. Jack Ziblick has qualified for that. There are 3 Republicans running in that, so Jack will be one of 4 candidates in the jungle primary on that. So likely to be a runoff, probably. All the candidates are fairly new to running for state senate. So we'll see. Well, our job right now is to get Jack's numbers up as high as we can, get him into a runoff or better. So that's what we're aiming to do. And we'll also have some interviews coming up. I'll have an interview coming up with Jack, and I'll have an interview coming up with Kathy Codd, who's running for state house over at Whitfield and Murray counties. And we'll also have a state house candidate here in Dade and Walker that I'll be interviewing. And it also a local, at least one local candidate, and as many others as we have as we can get. So there are other interviews coming up, not all of them at the statewide level, but that's sort of your update on what's going on election wise as of January 31st. If you have any questions, you can reach me at dadedemocrat@gmail.com, or my phone number is 423-314-7696. We're also needing help for volunteers for the Harris and Ziblatt campaigns to uh, to do things like knock on doors, make phone calls, put up yard signs, all that stuff that campaigns typically do. We need help with that, as many bodies as we can. So reach out to me again if you want that, and I can put you in touch with other people who can help you better. And thank you for your time, and thanks for your support that you're giving us.